We put ourselves in a place we don't belong.
Hey guys, we just got back from seeing Jurassic World Rebirth, the 4th Jurassic World movie, or I guess the 7th Jurassic movie overall.
Yeah.
And we have some different thoughts on it.
Mixed opinions, I'd say.
Lil, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I like this movie. It was very much a good 4th of July movie to just go see and enjoy with family and friends. Would I say that this is the best Jurassic World movie I've ever seen? Not so much.
No.
I don't think so. I definitely think that there were some elements that they could have held back on, some scenes that could have been cut shorter, but I mean, that was just my opinion. So what do you think, Scott?
Well, I will agree, that there was a pacing issue. I feel like a lot of the movie did feel kind of slow, but I think that was kind of the point, because I feel like you don't look entirely convinced, but I do feel like the 3 Jurassic World movies kind of put an emphasis on, the sort of action and adventure side of Jurassic Park, to the point where the last one felt more like a Fast and Furious movie than a Jurassic Park movie, with, Chris Pratt, like, racing with the dinosaurs and everything. I think this was sort of a return to form. I think it was, it was a lot more bare bones than the last 3 Jurassic World movies. I did really think it returned to that, sort of like survival thriller / horror, kind of roots of, the original movie and the book. I did like that. I feel like it's kind of like an Alien versus Aliens thing where, the first one had sort of horror elements. The second one had, more of an action kind of theme. I feel like this really got back to that original tone, which, I think really is fitting for those Jurassic Park movies.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, so this is our 7th Jurassic movie. You know what's going to happen. Let's just get right into spoilers.
Let's go. Okay, so I have a couple things to say because I know that we have, 2 different opinions here. But as I, was watching this movie, I kind of expected what was going to happen a little bit. Like, after I saw it 2 and 3 times, I was like, okay, they definitely have a pattern here.
Yeah.
I've kind of had enough. I know what's going to happen next. They had this pattern of, like you were saying with the horror, at least, like, oh no, scary. Yeah. But the pattern that I saw, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody that, like, hasn't seen it yet or has seen it, and they're like, oh, wait, they did do that, was you would have, you have these 2 groups of people. You have the group that is going in trying to get the DNA from the dinosaurs. Yeah. And you have the group that...
Dino DNA.
You have the group of, shipwreckers that, they got together with other group and they've been separated. Yeah. So it would go back and forth. The family. Yeah. It would go back and forth between the family, and then it would have the pattern of, oh, everything's fine. Ooh, we discovered something. Oh no, there's a dinosaur. Oh no, quick, you gotta, like, be quiet. And then, oh, they did a dumb thing. Why would you do that? Like, well, you could have run, obviously, like that horror.
To be fair, and Jeff Goldblum actually called this out in the 2nd Jurassic Park movie.
Oh yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
These movies have a structure. People look at dinosaurs, they're amazed, and then dinosaurs attack, and then they have to run, and, it is kind of baked into the series a little bit, but I understand how that could be kind of,
Because it literally was that. And then, so you had the family, and then you would go to, the people, the scientists getting the DNA, and then same thing, same pattern. And you'd be like, well, yeah, obviously that's going to happen. Like, and then it went back to the family doing that same thing. And at one point, I was looking at my clock, my watch, and I was just like, oh no, they did it again. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like, and also, I don't know.
I'm glad you liked the movie.
I loved it. But I just, like, also with, like, the dumb boyfriend, like, I did want him to have more of a connection, because that second time around when it was the boyfriend's turn to watch, like, yes, he was like, okay, it's my turn to watch, like, and you're like, okay, he's kind of growing there a little bit. But then, like, they stunt his growth with, his lines of being like, oh, you know, I don't want her to see who I actually am. Okay, maybe it's self-confidence, whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted him to, like, you know, show that towards the end of the movie. They kind of just, like, left his character, like, premature. They, like, didn't finish it out. I'm, like, tripping over my words because I'm, like, they didn't do anything with him. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean, the human characters, you know, since the first movie at least, they've always kind of taken a back seat to the dinosaurs, so.
Yeah, I know the dinosaurs are supposed to be, like, you know.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs,
The main draw.
like the main character.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just, that,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I feel
do
like
feel
the
like the
script wasn't, like, 100%.
I mean, I think it was...
The
I think it was a
daughter
lot...
being like, I'm gonna kill that guy. He tried to kill me, and it's just like, it was a good movie. It was great.
Yeah. So clearly we have one thumbs up and one thumbs down. So I mean, look, I get it. It wasn't a perfect movie by, you know, any stretch. But I really think it kind of course corrected from those last two. And, you know, I did really like the main kind of group of characters, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershela Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. I thought they were great.
Fantastic, yeah. Their acting was
there were,
great.
you know, parts, I feel like some of the family stuff could have been cut. But, you know, I feel like they did sort of add, like, a lot of, like, levity to the movie and sort of that relatable character situations and everything. So,
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. All right, so the D-Rex. What do you think of him?
I think he deserves an F rating. I did not like the D-Rex. I think it stands for, like, dumb Rex.
Dumb
I
Rex?
don't know. Like, dummy Rex. I was looking at this dinosaur, and I know the whole point is these are the reject dinosaurs. Like, this was the island of rejects, and they just, you know, like they explained in the
Island
movie.
of Misfit Dinosaurs.
Yeah, Island of Misfit dinosaurs. And I just did not like the design. You know, somebody is like a visual person.
I feel like that was the point, though.
I know, but
you know,
make
because
it
if
like
these were
a two-headed dinosaur or something. Like, which
I
they
think
did.
they did
had
have
that.
one of those. Yeah.
Put that one out.
But I mean, I feel like they had to come up with something like horrific to really justify
that
the
was
existence.
not horrific. That was
It
like
was weird. It was like something more out of like an alien
movie.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that whole mutant sort of dinosaur thing. I think
big old head. I don't like. I'm more like, sir, you alright? Do you want to be like put down? Like, like I think if you want to defeat this dinosaur, just like humiliate him. Honestly,
I just a lot of people were complaining about the design. Like I
good.
get
I'm
it.
not the only one. Like, it was bad.
I really sort of, it almost made me nostalgic. It like seemed like some kind of weird Jurassic Park toy that would have come out in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like movies are mining that sort of like weird 80s vibe again. You know, like I feel like the last Ghostbusters movie did.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of taking the weirder elements of, you know, the lore and canon and everything and you know, kind of going with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that aspect. So I get why some people who are, you know, more like dinosaur you wanna like crap on this movie so bad.
I do.
I can like feel your seething hatred of this movie.
To tell you.
We started this review. She was like, I liked it. I thought it was okay.
Because this
Now
is
she's
the
like
movie.
a T-Rex. Like foaming at the mouth.
No, this is how I see this movie. Like, when I think of the story from start to finish, I think of, like, oh, Manhattan, there's a dinosaur, they're normalized. Okay.
Yeah.
That. And then, you know, oh, groups gets together. And then you have, like, introduce this random family.
Yeah.
I almost thought, like, maybe one of them would, you know, have something to do with, like, the island or the park, whatever. Anyways, you have that element. And then you just have, like, them together. The harpoon scene, I call it the harpoon scene, where they're trying to get the DNA sample from, what was it, sauropod or whatever? The
Mesosaurus.
Mesosaurus. That was underwater. I felt like that went on forever. And we were, like, in the movie theater, I was like, I just felt like that is going on forever.
The scenes did drag.
Yeah.
I thought that scene in particular, I feel like it was building up tension. It kind of had like a Jaws kind of vibe.
Yeah,
I did
it
like
did.
that.
It did.
I did like that.
Definitely agree.
But this is a slow burn movie, and people are either gonna love that or hate it. So, and I feel like we're two pretty good examples of
Loving and
both
hating.
sides.
Well, there were
So,
little inconsistencies. Like, okay.
in a Jurassic World movie,
Okay, first let me finish my point. So we had, there was that harpooning scene, and then
Yeah.
you have the groups like, ooh, bad guy. They separate, off the boat, whatever. And then, oh no, bad thing happened. We gotta, escape from it. And then other group, family, oh no, bad thing happened. That went on like 4 times, like 2 each.
Yeah.
And then finally, by the end of it, oh, there's helicopter coming.
What would you have liked to see?
I wanted
instead?
I wanted character development. I wanted
I think these characters are a lot more developed than the characters from the last trilogy.
but I wanted
personally.
like backstories. I
Yeah.
wanted like what's his name's character?
I couldn't tell you one thing about Chris Pratt's character from the last 3 movies. So, I feel like
I mean, they had him like in the woods and stuff, and like you kind of like got to know him more. I mean, yes, this is the first movie with these characters,
and since all 3 survived, I feel
Yeah.
like they're definitely building out a new
Yeah.
trilogy. So,
because like I think like Jonathan Bailey's character, for example, like
Yeah.
he said that he studied under
Alan Grant.
Alan Grant. And I was like, oh yes, I love that. That had my ears perk up because I was like, oh, perfect. Like, yes, other characters that we
Yeah.
can relate to.
Yeah.
I wanted to have more of that, even maybe a flashback or something with Alan Grant there.
I disagree. I disagree.
Really?
And I'm a Marvel fan, so like this is kind of weird for me to say, but I really appreciated this sort of subtle world building. Like this movie didn't come out of the gate like, oh, we're starting a new, new franchise. We're starting
Yeah.
a new, arc. It was like a
just existed.
regular sort of standalone Jurassic Park movie, and that's okay. Nothing, there doesn't have to be 18 spin-offs and sequels in the wings.
Yeah, it's true.
I think once in a while we can still just have standalone regular movies, and I do appreciate that for a change.
But
so.
do they plan on this being a standalone movie? Do they have other plans in production?
Every studio wants sequels. They want, the cinematic universe
Especially
thing.
the Jurassic movie,
Yeah. But I feel like they definitely they went with more of a bare bones kind of, throw everything they had at you in the moment instead of holding things off for the sequel. So
Yeah.
which I definitely I appreciated personally.
I think maybe they wanted to see how
We reacted to
yes,
the characters and everything.
how this was
so.
going to be, especially
Yeah.
the big cast.
This is definitely
Yeah,
a palate
stacked
cleanser
cast.
from the last 3 movies.
Yes.
Whether you like them or not, at least behind the scenes, this was to kind of reset the board a little bit. So
Okay, yeah, I agree. Alrighty, Scott. So, what are your final thoughts about the movie?
Final thoughts. Look, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch. I think I think every Jurassic Park movie since the original has sort of been vying for like the least worst Jurassic Park sequel title. You know what I mean? I feel like none of them are going to reach the heights of the first movie. Obviously, that was just lightning in the bottle. I mean, Spielberg.
Definitely.
Just that sort of time in the 90s, developing the CGI and everything. There will never be another movie like Jurassic Park. That was
One of a kind.
one of a kind, 100%. So, is it my favorite movie of the year? No. I liked it a lot better than the last 2 Jurassic World movies. I think it's a good sort of fresh start for the franchise. So, I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I'm not rushing to see it again, but like if it's on TV or once it comes to Peacock or wherever, I'll give it another watch.
Okay, that's fair. That sounds good. I have one last thing to throw shade at the movie.
Oh boy.
And I told you that I didn't want to tell you yet because I was like, I actually want to see if you actually saw the same thing. So, but it is when the crew has shipwrecked onto the shore on the island, and you have the girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is like, she's dealing with the boxes and everything,
Yeah.
and she's all that, or the box, and she doesn't notice one of the dinosaurs actually was like sleeping or whatever, and it gets up. She doesn't see it. She like goes to walk around the crate, and the thing snatches her up, and like takes her out to sea. Well, she's like all the way over there by now, like with this dinosaur. He's already like taken her and everything, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you noticed this, but like blood comes from the top of the beach. It's almost like but her body wasn't even over there.
What do you mean?
Like there was blood, like as if someone died, but at the top of the water, and then blood was like coming down. It like receded or came back.
It came back in.
Yeah, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that it was not. It was almost like as if someone was bleeding here and like bleeding out.
Yeah.
And then it like came back in and like wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't convinced. I was like, well, that was really bad. Like, it was like a mistake that you'd probably see out of like maybe Jaws, them like messing up there.
I mean, to be fair, these Jurassic Park movies, they're really high budget B movies. You know what I mean? They kind of.
I don't agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. I liked some of these movies.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
When I think B movie, I think
no, the whole concept of like dinosaurs coming back to life. It's inherently kind of
I know
B
what you
movie-esque. I mean, look, there's going to be some goofy stuff, and that's I feel like it's kind of part of the.
I know, but with the budget that like these movies have, I'm like, okay. Hey, I don't know. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, it's just not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I mean, you might go to the movie and love it and be like, what is she talking about? But from like, a design standpoint,
right
I was saying literally you. Like, it's not a horrible movie. These are, when we do these reviews, these are our opinions.
This movie punched Lil in the face and stole her lunch money.
Clearly stole my lunch money, and I'm mad.
And gave her a wedgie.
And I'm coming back for revenge, all right? Now that I've seen it, I've toughened up, and, like, clearly had a lot to say.
Come back for round 2.
Yeah. Would I show it to my family? Yes. I think that they would like it. I really think it is a enjoyable, like, movie that you go see. And how long was this movie? Do you know?
It was around 2 hours.
Around 2 hours? Like, not terribly, terribly long. Like I said, I thought some things went on for too long. It's not a horrible movie. Do I think some things could have been, edited or cut? Yes, sure. But I think it is a great movie to take family and friends and just go enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
If you are talking about this being a part of, the series or trying to put like, Easter eggs, here and there.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, they could have done a better job, or like with their budget. They didn't ask me, but I'm clearly letting them know.
They didn't consult you.
Yeah. So I'm like, go see the movie now. Like, I feel bad. Go see it. But you know what? To each their own. I thought it was okay. It was a decent movie.
Would you want to see a sequel, or are you kind of?
I would want to see a sequel. You know what? I would want to see a sequel. I really love this franchise.
I feel like they left it in a very interesting place.
I agree.
Them sort of, planning on releasing the dino DNA to the public, and it being sort of an open source for, I think it was heart disease to fix.
Yes, yeah, cardiovascular. Heart. Yeah.
So I mean, then that could be a really cool movie. People kind of harnessing the dinosaur DNA for different means, and
definitely.
Seeing who gets that sort of power.
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty interesting personally. But,
for sure. I agree.
Yeah. Who knows? All right, so if you guys seen Jurassic World Rebirth, if you have, let us know in the comments below. Give us your opinions. Let's get a conversation going, because clearly this is a bit of a polarizing movie.
Definitely a divide.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time that we post a video.
Until next time, Daydream fam.
Goodbye.